The University of Pennsylvania, often referred to as UPenn, is a private education and research institution located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The university is in the easternmost part of West Philadelphia, which has been named University City for the influence UPenn has had on the community. The university has thousands of faculty members and administrative staff, and tens of thousands of students studying at the institution every year. But sadly, the university's campus is also plagued by a large amount of tragedies surrounding the students and the staff. Since February of 2013, 14 students and faculty members of the University of Pennsylvania have committed suicide. Along with that, the tragedies have even continued throughout 2017, where 9 students and staff have died. Among the tragedies surrounding the University of Pennsylvania is the most recent death of 19-year-old sophomore Blaze Bernstein, whose case is being investigated as a homicide. It all started during the university's winter break, when Bernstein returned home to his family, who lives in Lake Forest, California. During his break, his family had dinner together on January 2nd, 2018, which would be the last time his family saw him alive. After the meal, each of the family members went to their rooms and fell asleep, except for Blaze, who went out in the middle of the night with a friend, 20-year-old Samuel Lincoln Woodward. The two friends met and then drove to Borough Park, after which at 11 o'clock p.m., while Woodward went to the washroom, Blaze allegedly entered the park alone and was headed in the direction adjacent to Whiting Ranch Park, according to Woodward, and it would end up being the last time Blaze Bernstein would be seen alive. Woodward has stated that he had driven away at one point after Blaze's disappearance, but had returned later in an attempt to find his friend, but Bernstein had vanished. The next morning, his parents had woken up without any knowledge that Blaze had left the house in the middle of the night, and had assumed that he had slept in. But after he missed a dental appointment in the afternoon, they became concerned. They reached out to authorities shortly afterwards for help. Around 25 members of a search and rescue team searched both Borough Park and Whiting Ranch Park for several days. This was also aided by drone pilots who had searched both of the parks from a bird's eye view. At 2 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, January 9th, Blaze's body was discovered by searchers. It was buried in a shallow grave along the perimeter of Borough Park. It was just recently uncovered due to recent rainfall, which had partially exposed it. Investigators have determined that Blaze Bernstein's case is a homicide, but did not elaborate as to how he was killed or the condition of his body. They also haven't released any information about the body after an autopsy was completed on Wednesday, January 10th. When questioned by law enforcement before the discovery of Blaze's body, Samuel Lincoln Woodward was nervous and visibly shaking. He had dirt underneath his fingernails and on his hands, and his hands were also bruised and had several abrasions on them. When asked about this, Woodward told police that he was a part of a fight club and that his hands were dirty because he fell into a mud puddle during sparring. Also, when asked where he went after dropping Blaze off at the park, he said that he went to his girlfriend's house, but he could not recall her last name or address. It was also noted by a sheriff's investigator that Woodward had avoided touching doors with his hand while exiting the sheriff's office building. At 1:15 p.m. on Friday, January 12, 2018, Samuel Lincoln Woodward was arrested in relation to Blaze Bernstein's murder. Their investigation resulted in this arrest after the Bernstein family allowed law enforcement to access Blaze's social media accounts, which eventually implicated Woodward in the crime. Undersheriff Don Barnes has also stated that DNA evidence links Woodward to the murder. Prosecutors are reviewing evidence while they determine what charges they will file against Woodward. The undersheriff has stated that they are continuing their investigation into Blaze's death in order to discover a motive for the crime. Samuel Lincoln Woodward was brought to Orange County Jail, where he'll remain until further notice.